All right, everyone. I think Andrea is going to be joining us. At least that was our plan. Let me make sure she's not. Don't see her here yet. But I do believe she's joining us, so hopefully that works out. So we're going to do a little bit of a, yeah, here she is texting me now. We're going to do a little bit of a combo presentation here. Make sure you can see my screen. All right, y'all should be able to see this. We're going to do some highlights from some previous chats. There she is. So,
hello, everyone.
How are you? How are you? I was just telling everyone we're going to do kind of some highlights from some previous presentations and what we did. I guess that was 2 weeks ago now.
Okay.
Got some active aging trends. I've got some cancer stuff, a little bit of everything, and then we'll talk about the big combo offer we've got for everyone this Halloween season. So, so I'll get started, and then you can cover some of the cancer stuff as we get to it. Looks like we got 24 people on live.
Everybody, where are you all? Where do you live? What do you do? What brings you here today? I like to get to know our audience, don't you, Dan?
I do too. Yeah, definitely. Please type in the chat where you're tuning in from. Can you still see my slide deck? I think it probably paused as I'm sharing on Facebook.
It says active aging trends and predictions. Hey,
oh, you can't still see it. Okay.
Welcome from New Jersey, South Carolina, Kimberly, Jean, Arizona. Hello. All right, now we got some dialogue going. Welcome. All right, Dan, it's all you.
All right, I'm trying to get live on Facebook while we're doing this. So, okay. So let's see here. Hold on just a second.
Yeah, it usually takes a minute or two. I know.
It does. Yeah, it's slow. It's like, come on.
Way to go, Andre. I like to say Long Island because I'm good at it.
So I took Cody and I took some ideas from the Club Industry Report, fast forward 5 years, and then we sort of morphed that into how does this look when we think about cancer and aging and fitness for older adults. And so I did a highlight of, hold on a second. Let me get us on Facebook. Well, can only do so many things at a time.
I know.
I should have got us on Facebook faster.
We'll all get to know each other. So we've got Laura in Cincinnati, got Ann in Columbus, Rachel in West Lafayette.
Hey, Rachel. Let's see if I can get us.
We got Alex in Manchester, UK. Awesome. Claire in Winchester, Virginia. We are just marking up the world. Chris in Ontario, Canada.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to want to go live on Facebook for some reason. I'll try again in a little bit, maybe when you're talking.
We'll just post the recording afterwards. All right, so now we need your PowerPoint back.
Yep, here we go. All right, can you see that?
Yep, you just need full screen.
Yep, working on it.
See, now I have something to poke fun at you about because I'm always the one that's technologically.
Yeah. Well, if PowerPoint, come on, let's go.
I mean, I would love to help you, but I don't have any control. All right, for those of you who are just jumping in, we're having some technical difficulties, but would love to know who you are and where you are in this lovely world.
Let's try it again, see if it will.
Sally, I am typing my email in right now for you. If I can spell India. There you go. And I'm happy to reach out back to you, Sally.
All right, let's try this again. There, that looks like it's working. It's
Yeah.
fun. When I close the Zoom share and go to PowerPoint, it'll bring up the slideshow. When you're trying to share through Zoom, it didn't want to do it. It's like,
Expect the unexpected when it comes to technology.
so difficult. So I went over these trends on Wednesday. This is kind of a review: brain fitness, fit seniors, boomers turn 80, Gen Xers turn 60, rise of competition. We're going to see a lot of trends in aging over the next decade. And as boomers turn 80, it's going to absolutely start to change our view of 80s. And of course, Gen Xers are coming right behind. A whole nother generation is going to start turning 60, and there's going to be a whole new wave of seniors. So brain fitness coming of age, I think this is an interesting one. I've got some cancer stuff coming up pretty quick behind this, but we start to see that this is becoming a huge fear around the world. People are concerned about their brain health, Alzheimer's, dementia, some other form of cognitive decline. And we're seeing that really grow. And I think we're going to see that fear grow. Cancer's already been a huge fear, and I think the fear of that is continuing to grow. And when you look at the statistics of both of those, it's pretty alarming. We're going to have to be prepared for things like cancer, dementia, and so many other illnesses because people are living longer. I mean, the longer you live, if your statistical chance of getting cancer or some sort of brain issue is already high enough, the longer you live, of course, the higher your likelihood. So we're also going to see the rise of what we call the fit senior. And these are people that I think we're going to see more and more and more cancer survivors, right? Because statistically, if you're fit in your 50s and 60s, you're going to beat cancer and come out the other side.
Yeah.
And so we're going to see the implications of that as well. Some of the things we know about people in their 80s, they start to have some functional deficits, right? But it doesn't mean they can't still be fit. They can still be fit and healthy. I mean, here's Ernestine Shepherd in her 80s, amazing, right? But guess what? Many 80-year-olds are also going to be survivors of something, right? Whether it's cancer or cardiovascular disease or some sort of other issue. They may have a chronic condition, but they still want to be fit and healthy, robust, vibrant, and really successful members of society.
So
When we look at the, go ahead.
What is polypharmacy? I have my.
So it's an increased risk of multiple medications, essentially, right? So I'm not just on high blood pressure meds. I'm on high blood pressure meds, cholesterol meds. I might be on something for pain management, right? I'm on 4 or 5 medications. We start to see that tick up in the 80s, which contributes to this, right? We start to see a huge uptick in falling as people cross the 70-year-old threshold and of course 80-year-old threshold. And this is going to be an epidemic that we're going to deal with probably for the rest of our careers, and a huge issue. Gen Xers hit their 60s. I mean, that's still kind of blows my mind. So we're Gen Xers, me and you, Andrea, and we're going to get there too. So it's
closer than you.
It's coming for all of us. So and the cancer statistics, only continue to grow. I'll let you talk a little bit about this and how big this is going to be.
I hate to keep talking about 2018 as we're going into 2021, although I'm sure many of us are happy to look back at 2018 after this year.
Right.
However, none of the statistics have been updated, and I don't know if it's because of what's going on in the world with COVID, but nonetheless, just take these numbers and amplify them even more. We had about 18 million cancer cases around the world in 2018, and just based on statistics, it's going up exponentially each year. While we are having more people that are cured or in remission or living longer, nonetheless, we're not seeing a reduction in cancer cases, just an increase in survival, which is where exercise plays a critical role, because there are a good number of studies, especially as they pertain to breast cancer, showing if you take two groups, the same circumstances with cancer, the group that exercises regularly has about a 25% increase in life expectancy than the group that does not. And that is, with a cancer diagnosis. So going back 2 years, there were about 43.8 million survivors. So that's considered anyone who was diagnosed within 5 years. And so when you think about, let's just say we've got 45 million people living with cancer, and then millions more being diagnosed each year, all of these people need help getting from, you know, the medical side of things to the recovery side. And I always do this with my hands, where right now there's this moat that everybody's falling into, and we're trying to bridge the gap with, you know, functional aging and cancer recovery to help people get safely to that other side. And the numbers are not going down, as you see. By 2040, that global burden is going up even more. So I don't know what you're doing with PowerPoint there, Dan, but
I was trying to get us on Facebook again, but it's Facebook apparently does not want us to go live today. So so can you see this now?
Yeah, Kim is saying she can't read the slides. Kim, can you read them now that we're not trying to go live on Facebook? Let us know so we can figure that out.
It should be back. Yep.
Yeah, this particular slide is just reiterating what I said, is that, you know, for the first time in a long time, we're seeing deaths from cancer on the decline. Now, this is just in the US as far as the statistic, but I'm sure that applies globally. Kim is saying they're fuzzy. I don't know if anybody else can give us some commentary, because I know sometimes it is your connection, because I was on a webinar earlier and somebody told me they couldn't hear me, but everybody else heard me fine. So let us know, guys, if you're continuing to have an issue. All right, we're done with this slide. Jan is also saying they're fuzzy.
Huh, that's interesting.
Andrea is saying they're fuzzy.
Well, let me try resuming here.
Sorry, guys. It's Friday.
Is that better? Let me know. Look, I mean, I don't know how to focus my monitor anymore, so it could be an internet connection we've got.
Guys, just listen to us and don't worry about the slides. They're saying they're still fuzzy. It's Fuzzy Friday. All right, Friday. Well, we can either do this impromptu, or you guys just don't look at the screen and just listen to us. So as far as cancer goes, we've got faster, better recovery. We've got people who have muscle imbalances that lead to postural deviations that lead to pain and long-term joint degeneration. We've got range of motion issues. You know, we're finishing up Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So if you think about somebody who's got incisions, possibly radiation, adhesions, and scar tissue, it completely changes their posture. And it also affects their range of motion in the affected shoulder. This same thing can happen with head and neck cancer. So a trained fitness professional who can identify which muscles are hypertonic, which muscles are hypertrophic. You know, sometimes we have synergistic dominance where the smaller muscles are taking over the job of the primary muscle, which has been removed. So all of these things can be identified, can be remedied through proper exercise programming, but you have to understand all of the acute and the chronic side effects in order to really, truly be able to help your client. And the slide that's supposed to be here is basically saying, you know, exercise is medicine. And
you were looking for this slide, which they were saying was fuzzy. So, but
yeah, hopefully it's back. But you know, one of the crossovers, and Dan, you know, you had mentioned earlier Alzheimer's, dementia, what have you. A lot of the issues that could be just age related are also exacerbated, or the risk increases even more when someone undergoes cancer treatment. So, you know, they have brain fog, which we call chemo brain, or mental fatigue, attentional fatigue, which can feel like dementia for some people. And then when you couple that with the brain fog that comes with menopause, as people are thrown into menopause, you know, literally overnight with hormonal therapies and chemotherapies. And then also balance issues. You know, we lose our balance. It's not as good as it once was as we age. Well, what happens when you have peripheral neuropathy in your feet and you don't have normal sensation? So there's such a crossover, which is why Dan and I and functional aging and cancer exercise have come together, because there's so many ways that you can use the information in both courses to help this broader population. And, you know, without getting too wordy here, basically exercise is going to help manage, you know, hormones. And One of the things that happens, especially with chemotherapy, is insulin resistance. So we see a higher risk for type 2 diabetes. And the more insulin that the body is producing is affecting all kinds of hormones, from human growth hormone, which causes more rapid division of cells, whether they're healthy or whether they're cancerous, and also more estrogen. And estrogen is linked to a number of different cancers. So reducing inflammation is critical. That will help improve immune system function. And also exercise helps us poop. That's basically what that says. You move, your digestive system works better. So it has potential carcinogens have less time to be in contact with the
Sounds like a
mucosal
great
lining.
Facebook post.
I know, it's a fun
According
fact.
to Andrea Leonard, exercise helps you poop.
Well, if you have kids, most of you will relate to the book Everyone Poops.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so poop is a 4-letter word, but it's okay.
All right. So talk about this just briefly, because one of the things I'm going to highlight here in just a little bit is the medical fitness connection. But talk about the physician kind of lack of exercise knowledge.
You know, from what I understand, and speaking to physicians, is, you know, in 8 years of medical school and the whole gambit, they spend very little time talking about exercise and nutrition. Much like you can do a medical fitness course and you get a little bit of cancer and a little bit of Alzheimer's and a little bit of diabetes and whatever, but you're not an expert at any one thing. So just like we specialize in cancer or in diabetes or brain health, doctors also specialize. And even in that, if somebody's an oncologist or somebody's an ortho doctor, the amount of knowledge they have in exercise, you have to ask, how much are they going to use it? So the other part of that, Dan, is that they don't have time. How much time do you get to spend with a doctor when you go in their office?
Minutes. Minutes.
You feel privileged if you hit the 10-minute mark. So this is an unmet need because the doctors know that their patients need to exercise. And they say, hey, Jan, yeah, you need to exercise. And Jan, who's, finishing up chemotherapy or whatever, is going, okay, what does that mean? And that's where my little hand diagram of they're here, they want to get to here, but there's no way to get there. So we are that bridge, whether it's a physical therapist, an occupational therapist, or you are a yoga or a Pilates instructor or a personal trainer. There is a place in the spectrum for you, whether it is, in-house in the hospital setting, or it's, post rehab, where it might be outpatient physical therapy, and then they're going to hand the patient off to a fitness professional who is also a cancer exercise specialist. So I don't know how better to say it. And there is a huge, huge unmet need.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, cancer's obviously a huge one. It's unfair for us, honestly, to expect an oncologist to know what the exercise protocols should be. I mean, we want them to be an expert at, treating cancer. We don't want them to be a cancer exercise specialist, right? I mean,
right. And I mean, a cancer exercise specialist, Dan, if you asked me to train your cardiac rehab patient, I'm going to turn it down because that is a specialty that needs all of your attention, just like cancer.
Right. I mean, an orthopedist, we want them to be spending, every moment they're not spending with their patients, we want them to be spending learning how to do that knee surgery, because I want the expert at the knee surgery. I don't expect them to be an expert when it comes to the physical therapy and the exercise protocols, and they're not. And so I think sometimes we even put an unfair burden on them, but that's where there needs to be a synergy. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that later, but there has to be an easy pathway then for a physician to say, you need to go see this cancer exercise specialist, you need to go see this orthopedic physical therapist, you need to go see a functional aging specialist. If you fell and broke your hip, guess what, you probably need to see someone for balance, so you're not back here again in a couple of years with another fall injury.
That's the other thing, is that most medical professionals are looking at the site of the injury or the dis-ease. They're not looking at the source. Why are you having these problems, whether it's balance issues, whether it's getting cancer? What are your health habits or lack thereof that are leading to dis-ease? So these slides, Dan, are just reinforcing all of the different benefits of exercise, but understanding, not only the benefits, but do you as a fitness professional know when you're doing too much flexibility or range of motion? And is it appropriate for this person? If they have just had surgery 4 weeks ago, are they ready to be trying to do full range of motion?
Mhm.
You understand what the limiting factors are, and maybe it's pain, maybe it's fear, and maybe medically they should not be doing something yet. Yoga and meditation across the board, you think, well, that's pretty benign. How could anybody get hurt? Well, you can't really get hurt from doing meditation. I would say more than anything, as fitness professionals, we can help integrate this. Even if it's during the warm up, I tell people to think of 5 things they're grateful for. They don't have to say them aloud. Just think of 5 things you're grateful for. And we're shifting from glass half empty to glass half full, which when you're dealing with someone with a cancer diagnosis is huge, because it's really easy to fall into deep depression.
Mhm.
And so meditation and yoga, the relaxation response, can help not only mentally, but it can help minimize pain. And many cancer patients will be dealing with pain for a number of different reasons. Swimming is awesome. It's going to help people with arthritis. The hydrostatic pressure against the limb can help prevent lymphedema. Strength, burning calories. But do you know if your client is immunocompromised? Because if they are, they shouldn't be swimming. Or if they have a skin irritation from hyperthermia or radiation. And most people, most fitness professionals don't know this. And doctors aren't telling their clients this information. When in the 10 minutes that they're seeing them for the follow-up from their surgery or radiation, they don't have the time. So by educating ourselves as fitness professionals, you have the opportunity to build your presence in the medical community, the whole know, like, and trust, so that you become the local expert. And
Mhm.
you can't just self-proclaim yourself a local expert. You have to earn that.
Yeah, Chris, I see your question. We'll get to that in a little bit. Chris is asking about exactly what you're talking about, sort of cold calling on
Yeah,
doctors'
hang on, guys.
offices.
We'll hit questions at the
We'll get
end.
the questions. Yep.
Um, and even cardio, thinking about if somebody has peripheral neuropathy, and this is this is aging or cancer. Are we going to put that person who has poor balance or peripheral neuropathy in their feet on a treadmill? Probably not a good idea. You have to weigh the pros and the cons and decide what's appropriate, what's too much, and look at the risk of falling, and obviously minimize or hopefully eliminate that. I'm trying not to be too wordy. We know that as we age, we have a higher risk for osteoporosis. Well, I don't know if you all know that if you undergo chemotherapy or hormonal therapy, that these increase your risk exponentially. Same with corticosteroids. And many cancer patients will have multiple treatments, so their bones become even more frail. And of course, strength training is critical. But when is it appropriate?
This is where I think there's an interesting overlap, because people survive cancer,
Mhm.
right? But they don't realize the treatments that help them survive or beat cancer just made them 5 or even 10 years older, like accelerated the aging process when it comes to sarcopenia, osteopenia, muscle mass. It's like, oh, you survived cancer. Congratulations. You now have osteoporosis.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
and the worst part, Dan, is that the majority of people, I mean, I had cancer 36 years ago, so honestly, I don't remember much of anything. But my mom is currently going through treatment for stage 4 breast cancer, and I've been to a number of the appointments with the doctors, and even down to blood counts and stuff. The doctor says, "Don't worry, it's okay. Don't worry, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry." There's very little information given, and again, I don't know where the lapse is, but whatever the case is, you have patients that are just uninformed and uneducated. Oops. Sorry, guys, I meant to put that on. Whoops, hold on. I think you just lost me.
No, you're here. I like
Okay,
that ring.
okay.
I like the ringtone though.
That's the last of the Mohicans.
Yes, I can tell. I can tell.
All right, there we are. Okay. Yeah, I meant to put it on airplane mode. Sorry about that. Anyway, you know, in terms of seeing it firsthand with my mom and my father, who passed 6 years ago, had cancer, and the doctors just keep pushing them through the system. And I'm not putting down doctors. Doctors are doing their job. They can't be expected to do, you know, wear 10 different hats. So again, as fitness professionals or allied health professionals, we can come in and fill this need, you know, fill that overlap, and then transition the person. Because in cancer, you've got, first off, exercise for prevention. You know, we can educate people. So, hey, let's not get cancer, or let's not get it a second time. Then you've got treatment, and that's a different protocol than immediate recovery. And then that's a different protocol than long-term survivorship. So even as a cancer exercise specialist, there's not one hat you wear throughout the entire process. And if you start having your client do strength training too soon in an area that they have limited range of motion, you can actually be doing more harm than good. If you don't progress slowly, you could actually cause them to get lymphedema, which is the swelling of whatever area of the body has had lymph nodes removed or irradiated. And then if somebody has neuropathy and you have them holding a band or a weight, what happens if they drop it or let it go? Either of you can get hurt. So this is very methodical. This is not just, you know, some random workout. There is literally a checklist, and you have to go A, B, C, D, E, and then, and only then, can you put together a safe and effective exercise program. And so I think this is, rather than have it be a rhetorical question, you know, maybe you guys want to think about this a little bit and answer now or later on in our webinar presentation, because I think this isn't just cancer. Why does mainstream exercise programming fail with all special populations? So
Yeah, we asked this same question. I should have grabbed that slide. Why do mainstream exercise programs fail the vast majority of seniors? Or why does mainstream senior fitness, I don't even like that term, but why is it failing to impact function? Yeah, you guys can type this in the chat. I'd love to see your comments.
You know, I,
the best place.
I kind of pulled some things, you know, from your presentations and did a, you know, crazy sexy cancer post the other day that I tagged you in. And I think you said it perfectly, and you may say it again, is that, you know, the aging population, which many of whom have cancer, have the time, they have the motivation and inspiration, they have finances, the desire, and yet we're not interested in training those people. We want the young, sexy, beautiful, fit people. Well, I don't know what you think of me, and I don't want you to answer, but I'm going to be 55 in January. I'm a 36-year cancer survivor. So should you just throw me away like I'm garbage? Are you not interested in training me because I'm not pretty enough, or not sexy enough, or not fit enough? Again, I don't want the answer. So please do not answer. But you know, no, cancer and aging are not sexy. But that does not mean that those people who are aging and those people who have cancer are not sexy, or are not fit, or are not worthy.
No, I think the answer to the question, Andrea, is it's about the opportunity, right? The opportunity is massive, and for far too long, the fitness industry has been chasing the glitz, the glam, the youth, the vanity, all of which might look nice on a magazine cover, but it's not where the vast majority of the population really lies, and it's not where the opportunity really is, right? I mean, people are like, oh, I want to train fitness models. Well, yeah, good luck. The market's really small, and you're not going to enjoy it. You know, oh, I want to train bikini competitors. Yeah. Really? Are you sure that's what you want to do? So the reality is that the business opportunity is in training people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s that are going to have health issues, and they're going to run the spectrum from fit to very unfit to healthy weight to overweight to cancer survivor to, so to me, it's we need to be pursuing where the opportunity lies and realize.
Well, I know you talk to health clubs and studio owners about their downtime, from
Right.
10 to 12 and then 1 to 4. There's nobody in the gym or the studio. If you're a personal trainer, that's when you're working out or, doing whatever else. But wouldn't you like to fill that time with people who can be long-term members or long-term clients who really value you, who need you and have the means? Now, I do have to sidestep that and say, I do understand that while people are going through active treatment for cancer, financially, they may not be able to afford a personal trainer. I mean, many can, many cannot, because cancer can absolutely wreck your finances. So that's where we have an opportunity to give back. As club owners, you can give a certain amount of, free memberships while somebody's going through treatment, or if you're a trainer, maybe you do a certain number of pro bono or discounted hours. I'm absolutely not suggesting to capitalize on somebody who's suffering physically and financially. But remember that the majority of people who have cancer are going to recover. You may not recover from Alzheimer's, you may not recover from diabetes, but cancer, you can recover. You can lead a long, full, healthy life. So, I don't want to be a victim because I had cancer. I don't even want to talk about cancer. And that's the same with a lot of people. So,
there was one person in the chat, one kind person in the
I saw that.
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah.
Who said how simply fabulous you are? So
that's when I got a big smirk on my face. I'm like, it's only because I put makeup on and did my hair. But
well, let's finish. Well, you got 1 or 2 more slides here, and then we'll kind of overview and just open this up for questions. So if you guys have questions, start typing them in. But I think I just have one or 2 more slides from you.
And I do think, even though we're talking cancer, that a lot of this overlaps with all of the other comorbidities that happen as we age. Absolutely need to know, what was somebody's previous fitness level and how old are they? Because that's certainly going to affect their everything from the length of the workout to what you're doing in the workout. Must have a comprehensive assessment. And I know, Dan, you have specific assessments that you've taught people, that you will teach people in our course. And I also teach people how to do it and do it virtually. We need to know what surgery they had, when they had it, where's the incision, was there an amputation of a limb or a muscle? Because all of those things are also going to affect your exercise programming. And ask yourself, what's the purpose? Why are you doing this? I mean, does somebody really need to be doing bicep curls as opposed to a compound exercise that's going to be a functional movement? And then what's the risk versus the reward? So, okay, great. This person wants to, ride a bicycle along a busy highway, but they had a craniotomy and they can't have a risk of falling. And so you got to look at the risk versus the reward. The specificity of exercise, what exactly you're choosing and why, and what the outcome's going to be. And that pretty much goes along with relevance. And then ultimately, is it appropriate for that person? So I can tell you, if I go to any given gym and I watch other trainers working with their clients, which I do, most of the time I'm going like this.
Yeah, sure.
Because you're going, why are they doing this?
Yep.
So what is the method to your madness?
Yeah, we talk about this same concept, and the risk versus reward is different for every client, right? Like for a breast cancer client, it's going to be different from a lung cancer client, from somebody who's had maybe part of their liver removed. I mean, depending on the surgery you've had, the risk versus reward changes. And so when somebody's like, well, I did this with Bob earlier, it's like, but Bob has a completely different set of functional goals and different surgeries, and right, it's not appropriate with Judy. It might have been perfect for Bob. And we talk about clients that want to downhill ski in their 70s versus somebody who says, I just want to be able to play with my grandkids, right? Yeah, exactly. Different exercises, right? What's appropriate for training Andrea for downhill skiing might not be appropriate for the next person. So, this is critical stuff. And I think you're right, Andrea. We can walk into just about any gym and sadly not see this going on because trainers are delivering workouts and they're just compiling exercises. We want trainers to be educated, to be thinking through all the exercises they're using with their clients. Is it appropriate, specific to their goals, all those sorts of things.
Well, and just a funny little side note, and to let you all know, we see the questions coming in and we will get to them all. So you're not being ignored. I was, I get up in the morning and I look at, the news and whatever, and Heather Locklear, for any of you 80s people, you'll know Heather Locklear. She used to be in Dynasty. Well, in 1984, when I was working at what would now be Bally's, but at the time it was called Holiday Esprit Center, Heather Locklear was the spokesperson for that Bally's, whatever it was at the time. And I did a commercial. I was riding the bike next to Heather and a Chippendales guy, in our leg warmers and headbands and Lycra sweats, whatever, warm up suits.
We have got to get a copy of this commercial.
Oh my God, I know. I made $3.35 an hour. Didn't know my ass from my elbow, but I would take people through a circuit. You do 30 seconds of chest, 30 seconds of back, 30. And unfortunately, as an industry, yes, we've come very far, but there's still too much of that going on, which is non-specific, way too generalized. And what the heck are you trying to accomplish from this? So while obviously people were still, building lean muscle and increasing their bone density, it could have been a lot better. So,
Sure.
And I think, Dan, you'll probably be able to relate to this as well. This coronavirus pandemic, this says cancer patients, but all older people are feeling more alone than ever. They are scared of, whatever fears they had of dying just from their age or health as it was, has now been exacerbated. They're completely isolated and lonely. And I'm in Colorado by myself for a week. And I don't know anybody out here. And I'm like, wow, this is what my mom must feel like, because she's 82, she's all alone. And on top of it, has stage 4 cancer. So imagine all of these people, cancer and other, that would love to have somebody be able to reach out and come through that computer screen or FaceTime, whatever we can do virtually right now, not just for exercise, but for some level of companionship or accountability. It could even be, helping them with grocery shopping. We can be concierge, not just exercise programming. So there's even more opportunity, I think, than ever.
For sure. Okay, so what does this mean for you now? We are going to get to your questions here in just a second.
Like, all right, answer them.
Yeah, here we go. I mean, really, what it means for you is, is this something you want to spend your career on? You want to create a business around? Do you want to be a functional aging specialist, a cancer exercise specialist? Do you want to be able to market those credentials? We'll certainly help you create a business plan around that. People have already asked the question. So like, how do I cold call doctors? Well, that's probably a whole hour-long presentation on how to market your skills and services, but I'll try to answer that here in just a minute.
Maybe, Dan, maybe that could be a bonus session that we can even.
It is one of the bonus sessions that I'm planning on doing when we talk about understanding mature adults. Part of that is understanding the market and how we market to get them, and how we make that connection to physicians. I think we're going to see more health clubs trying to do training for older adults, right? I think we're going to see more senior fitness franchises popping up. I've heard of a couple coming. We're going to see more licensed models in a variety of ways. I think we're going to see more hospital-based wellness and fitness centers popping up because, like we said, the physician doesn't have time to do this, but if they know, they can just say, hey, go downstairs to our hospital-based fitness center. Somebody down there will take care of you. That sort of competition is going to pop up. And we're seeing more and more boutique fitness studios. I opened Miracles Fitness in 2007. We were the only personal training studio in West Lafayette, Indiana. And since then, we've had a Pilates studio open up, an Orange Theory Club open up, 2 yoga studios. And those are just the 4 that I know about are within a couple miles of me. There's probably no, there's another personal training studio down the road. So there's at least 5 that have opened up, just in the last 10 years. I think we're going to see more and more of that. And these, they're going to be specialized, right? I mean, a Pilates studio, I don't really think of it as competition at all. A yoga studio, I don't think of it as competition because they do different things than I do. And I have clients that train at our center and train at the Pilates studio and go to the yoga studio. People will do more than one thing. We can't pigeonhole people into thinking they'll just do one type of thing. So,
but those Pilates studios and yoga studios can also have specialized programming for X, Y, and Z. And
and some of you on here might be yoga instructors, and you might even be Pilates instructors or Pilates trainers as well. So we've seen that through the Functional Aging Institute. So this is one of the things I will talk about in the bonus section, is how to use better content, video, media, stories, testimonials. You do have to get better at marketing. I don't want people to think, well, if I just become a functional aging specialist, then every old person is going to show up at your door, right? Like, every cancer survivor is not going to know you exist because you're a cancer exercise specialist. It's not like you still have to market and communicate your specialty, what you do, and how you do it. So
for osmosis,
the aging opportunity is massive. And when we think about cancer, obviously there's a huge overlap here. There's 28 million seniors or silent generation folks still with us. There's 76 million baby boomers, some of whom are seniors.
Or global, Dan?
That's the US, just US only. And then Gen Xers, there's about 64 million of them, and they're already turning 50. So there's already 100 million plus people in the US over the age of 55. And when we look at the overlap with cancer, obviously it's pretty staggering. So
I think we found out that it's either 60 or 65% of people over, the 60-year mark will get cancer at some point in their lifetime. And then many will get second cancers. So we can intervene, not just in cancer prevention, but those people who already have had cancer, help them with healthier lifestyles so they don't get other diseases, including cancer.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the screen will be a little clearer when I share this, and I'm going to put this in the chat. So, or if you want to put this in the chat, feel free, Andrea.
I have to figure out what you're doing first.
Can you see my screen?
I can. Are you looking for the course that we're about to launch next week?
I just want to show everybody the combo special, and then we can talk about all the bonus sessions that we're doing next week, because I know some people are asking specific questions that honestly.
Keep scrolling down, because
yeah, I will. I mean, honestly, you need to become a cancer exercise specialist if you want to learn all the fitness assessments and tools for cancer. And we have several fitness assessments that we go over in the functional aging specialist. So we're packaging about 6 of our courses together. So the cancer exercise specialist, functional aging specialist, the breast cancer recovery BOSU specialist, the group exercise specialist, because I know some of you do group, training clients with joint replacements. And then we're doing a combo for the next 3 weeks. Andrea and I are going to continue.
It's like a career in a box.
Yeah, basically we're going to cover everything. And here's the thing: if you scroll down, you can get started now for $14.99, but we're knocking $600 off of that. So I just kind of wanted to show people how easy this is, Andrea, with the new start coupon.
Even I'm going, wait a minute, huh?
Yeah, I mean, because I looked at it, I was like, $14.99, that's a deal. I don't remember saying we discount this $500, but we're actually discounting it over $1,000. So you click on enroll in the course.
And they can do a payment plan. So
right.
It's not the $600 right off the top of the bat. There is still a significant discount, but you can do it in 4 payments. And, I just want to say,
if I can get the coupon to work, you can get it to work. Look at that, $8.99. And you get all of those courses. So that's how the coupon code works, just in case anybody was wondering.
Great, because I know in the fitness industry, the next couple months are going to slow down, period. I mean, this is just the way it is. November, December, clients start to go away. They're not working out. This is the perfect time for you guys to be studying. And Dan and I are going to be working with you. I think it's 3 weeks. We each meet with you twice a week.
Yep.
So we are taken you through these programs. It doesn't mean you have to complete it all in 3 weeks. That's probably impossible. But you can work on this over the next couple months so that you have this new package that you can launch when we do get busy again in January. So the timing is really perfect. And there's a lot of crossover in both courses. There's synergistic, but you'll also learn different tools from each of us that you can use with any of these populations, which is great. And I continue to learn, even knowing what I know. I listen to Dan and I learn from Dan, and hopefully maybe he learns something from me. So the learning process will continue, and then we'll work with you also to help you build your business, to get you listed on directories so people can find you.
Can you see the schedule here for the next 20 days?
Yeah.
Is that on the screen? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the bonus workshop information. In addition to getting all 5 of our courses, you're going to get an additional number of live trainings with us. So, starting next week on Monday will be Andrea. Tuesday, I'll be going over the functional aging training model. Basically, we've sort of modeled it as walking you through the certifications. Like, we're going to help take you through it live. I can't actually take the test for you, but we're going to help. Essentially, if we were able to do live workshops, this is kind of how we would do it. So we're gonna add this as a bonus.
Everybody's saying it's still blurry, so I have no idea what's going on, guys. But
yeah, just go to the website. I'll copy that in as well.
.com and you'll see it there. So are we doing it at the same time, 1 to 2 Eastern?
Yep.
And it will be recorded, guys. So if you can't be there live, and then I'm also doing kind of open office virtual hours. We're doing a lot of things. Yes, it's just an hour a day, Kim. That does not mean that you're going to get through five courses with these 3 weeks. It's a lot of content, and for you to feel like an expert, obviously it's going to take more than that. So you'll have a number of different examinations, and then of course the process. So some coursework will be through the FAI platform, and other coursework will be through the CETI platform. But we've really kind of honed in on this to make it as easy as possible for you guys to follow the protocol, if you will.
Yeah. Let's knock out a couple of questions here. Sally, you're not computer literate. It's $8.99. You would pay more than that if you went to Cancer Exercise Institute for their cert and then came to FAI for our cert. We packaged them together, and we're giving you 3 additional courses plus 3 more weeks of live training. So it is really kind of we're kind of giving away the farm here, Andrea, but it's a great combo deal. We want to get as many people into this as possible. And some people are asking, Manaza is mentioning this, we've had other people, it's a lot of material. You're not going to get through it all right away, but you can purchase this and do it later, right? If you want to put it off to sort of winter holidays and after Christmas, you have 6 months to complete these certifications.
And I don't know about you, Dan, but I mean, I know this is a lot. And so I'm willing to say, hey, yeah, you need a little extra time. No worries. I mean,
I already did that. I had somebody reach out and say, well, I can't get to the functional aging specialist because I'm working on the cancer exercise specialist. I said, well, we'll give you, an extra month or 2 deadline if you need it. Our goal isn't with the 6 months to punish you. Our goal is we want you to get certified, get finished, and then we can actually help you use that credential. So realize, plus all the live sessions we're doing starting Monday through November 20th, you can consume those at your own speed. You get access to those recordings forever. So you don't have to take them in all live. I know some people are like, well, I'm in the middle of school. I see Manaza's trying to finish a therapy degree, so you have those recordings later as you're ready to go through the course. So
let me just say to Sally, because I've written my email address like 3 times, but for some reason you're not seeing it, Sally. It's easy. Andrea, Andrea, at thecancerspecialist.com. Andrea at thecancerspecialist.com. So hopefully you can get me now. All right, what else do we got? I'm gonna look at the chat box. Are you looking at? You're looking at?
Yeah, I'm looking at chat. Kim says, I have a client who's currently undergoing 2nd round of treatment of lymphoma. I have a current NASM certification. Will FAI course parallel much of that? It depends which NASM certification you have. The functional aging specialist course is really designed to think about how we train for function. And so it's typically different from the NASM certifications, and it's going to be different from any senior fitness certification that's out there. So
Yeah, and
I think it's pretty unique, honestly. So I like NASM. I
and
think
they
that
are
gives you a
definitely
great,
not covered
yeah, I think
for
that
sure.
NASM gives you a great
I
fitness
can,
foundation.
yeah, having done ACE and NASM and ACSM, I can tell you what little bit they talk about any special populations, even in their clinical exercise courses, is not enough. There is so much to learn about cancer. Just to give you an example, our handbooks are a total of about 500 pages. Not to overwhelm you, you know, you have that content there as a resource, like a Bible, for as long as you want. But I do like the corrective exercise NASM course a lot, and a lot of
Yeah.
that overlaps some of our principles as far as particularly assessment.
Barry wants us to share the slides. Happy to do that, Barry. Where would you like me to publish them so you can get them? In the Facebook group? I can post them up there
We could do that.
after this. That's probably the easiest. Kim, I think we covered this. What are the live hours? We will do it 1 Eastern every day, but you can watch it at your own leisure. We'll be posting the recordings. They'll be roughly an hour every day.
Yeah, and for anyone else who is computer illiterate or having issues, you can also email or call. Okay, guys, I'm going to say the phone number: 503 502 6776. So 503 502 6776. Put a 1 in front of that if it's international, but that's another option if you want to register by phone. If you don't want to deal with the computer, we can also Venmo you, PayPal invoice. There are all different options. So don't let your frustration with computer systems keep you from taking advantage of this.
Let's see. John asked a question. I'm a 3-time human kinetics author. My text client-centered exercise prescription may be something you want to add to your package. I'm sure we can negotiate with HK. Yeah, interesting, John. If you could reach out to us, either email Andrea or email us at FAI, be happy to take a look at that. contact@functionalaginginstitute.com is my email. Kathy, common question we get: I have the FAS certification, or I have the CES certification. I already have one of the core certifications. Would it be the same cost? No, you get a slight discount. Best thing to do is email Andrea, or you can email contact@functionalaginginstitute, and we'll connect you over to Andrea either way. Because yeah, we give you a slight discount.
I'm trying to find who it was with human kinetics here. Even if that doesn't work out this time, you know, maybe that's something in the future as well.
Andrea, Sally's asking about the Facebook connection. What?
So I think she's talking about right now, because there won't be one. The 5-week thing, we're not doing that this time, Zan. So for now, Sally, it is literally CES/FAS Kickstart under
that's it.
Groups. So Dan, is that where you'll put this slide?
Yep, that's where I'll put the slides.
Recorded videos will be there. So
I couldn't remember what it was called to search for it. CES FAI Kickstart.
FAS Kickstart. And
okay, Sally, it is Eastern time here, so it's 1:55 Eastern. Andrea, are you in Pacific time or Mountain time?
I'm in Mountain.
Okay.
So I'll be in Mountain the whole time we're doing this, and then I'll be going back to Pacific.
April, you are very welcome. April says, thank you for sharing this. I've taken away good ideas, especially since I have a friend who's a cancer survivor. Andre is asking about training people with cancer. Are there cancer-specific assessments and health questionnaires? I have a feeling you might have a few of those in your course.
Let me elaborate a little more also. And this is I'd love for you to do our coursework, and I'm pretty confident, I'm very confident that it is the most current evidence-based and comprehensive individualized programming there is. However, if you opt not to, get yourself some sort of certification, because it is a liability for you to be working with any of these special populations without having some specific training, and could, I'm doing air quotes, be considered gross negligence if anything ever happened. So that's my little, legal disclaimer. Now, as far as assessments, we use pretty much the standard assessment. Now, I'm not talking about in a clinical setting, Andre. I'm talking about, for the majority of fitness professionals, postural assessment, modified Thomas test, Trendelenburg test, squat test, 30 seconds sit to stand. And then Dan has a number of different ones also as part of the functional aging. So I don't think that there are specific tests for cancer patients, but there may in fact be some that we would not do based on balance issues or the inability to, lie down and get themselves back up, knee issues, just normal contraindications that could preclude anybody from doing it. Really, really important, however, to understand, when doing a postural assessment, to understand what's been done surgically or with cancer treatment and how that affects posture, how the direction of the incision or whether or not there was an amputation is going to affect it. And then, of course, being able to use a goniometer, which most of us fitness professionals don't do, to measure shoulder joint range of motion, which is really, really important, particularly for breast cancer and head and neck cancers. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah. I believe I'm going to put the Facebook group in the chat again too. So you can click on these links that I'm putting in the chat. So if you're looking for the Facebook group, it's fairly easy to find. If you want to find the actual page where you can sign up for the program, that's in the chat as well. And of course you can email either of us, but Sally's got a couple questions and Chris has one I want to get to. Sally, I probably could do a whole session on this, right? Sally says, young people do not want to slow down enough to listen to the amazing older populations, don't know how to change exercise to suit them. There's no quick fix. So young trainers move on. And then some other comments about substitute. I think you're saying substitute trainers making a farce of proper exercises, lack of consistency, owner retirement homes, et cetera, are not invested in time, money, or energy towards the general well-being of the quality of life. So a couple comments here, Sally. One is, don't be really careful making ageist statements yourself. It's really easy to be ageist in multiple directions. So not all young people refuse to listen to amazing older populations. In fact, the average age of my trainers at my studio is about 28 years old, and many of them start out at 23. But they're passionate about training this population. They're passionate about helping people, and they're passionate about working with people with joint issues and aging issues. And so not all young people are that way. So we got to be careful not to be ageist towards young people, though certainly that can be an issue in some facilities. The other thing too, I've noticed there are some retirement homes that are very interested in investing time and money towards the general well-being of their older residents, and they should be interested in this because the longevity of their residents, of course, is a financial reward to the retirement home. But of course, there are a wide range of retirement facilities, nursing home care. There's a whole continuum from the best of the best premium, who have amazing facilities and certainly would be interested. We're talking with large chain retirement facilities right now about making functional aging specialists the standard of care, because they want their activity directors, their programming directors, their fitness directors to all be knowledgeable in this. But that's a high level retirement community. So there certainly is a wide range. So let's just be careful not to necessarily overly generalize. There are some people doing amazing things, while of course there are some others that are not doing, and maybe those are opportunities for you to educate folks how they could do better. And I definitely want to do this, but I need view all of the options for cost and time, as my income is at the bottom of the scale and my time availability is also slim. Should I email all of the needs? Yeah, feel free to email us, Ann. That's great. You can certainly check out the full page. There are payment plan options, which might be really the best way for you to go. But I put the page in the chat so you can just click on that or email us if you have specific questions. All right, any other questions at all?
Dan, Kathy Gendelman had asked, she's already signed up for both FAS and CES as a home study. So I asked her to email me. For any of you who've already got any or all of our courses, there will be a fee for the extra live training or for the course that you don't have, but it won't be the full fee. So reach out to us and we can come up with something that meets your needs as far as payment options and something that's more affordable than having to pay the full price of everything.
Yeah, if you already own both courses, for sure, we'll make you a deal you can't refuse. How's that? I think we've answered all the questions. Let me. Yep, I've got everything in the Q&A answered, and we are right at 2:02, so we're doing good here on time.
Awesome. And Dan, do you have a YouTube channel?
We do. Yep, Functional Agent
Okay, and mine is Cancer Exercise. If you guys want to check it out, there's lots of free and valuable information and videos. Again, just remember, just because you watch a video, just because you listen to webinars, that does not make you an expert. Okay, if you want to be an expert, you have to do the work. You got to pay the price. Really unfiguratively.
For sure. Yeah, we both our Facebook page, which is also Functional Agent Institute, and our YouTube channel have well over 100 videos. Yeah. So I mean, there's tons and tons of content there. Probably some topics specific to some of the questions some of you even asked. I did have the question from Chris, and Chris, I told you I would answer it. So my best answer for the physician, honestly, is to have a book. So we help trainers publish books, and here's several of them that we have worked with, because a physician can hand out your book, and I've seen it work at my studio. Physicians give out my book. They don't know what to tell their client other than you should exercise. Why don't you read this book and go learn something from this trainer? It's just a lot more powerful tool than a brochure or a business card. That's certainly a starting point. But you have to educate the physician as to why you're an expert, and cold calling them is not going to be the way to do it. Doctors don't answer their phone. You're only going to get their, front desk staff. You're not likely to get an appointment. The way those strategies work is you have to bring lunch in for the whole staff, and that can get costly. And you might get 10 minutes with the physician, and then you better have something pretty powerful. So if it's not a book, it better be a strong presentation or a brochure, or, a really significant thing. So, having a book is and these are not terribly expensive to do as a marketing tool. The other thing that you can do is use your clientele. And so get 10 of your best clients, find out who their physicians are, and use that as sort of an infiltration method. So here, let's see, where's my book? It should be sitting around here somewhere. I have my own. Here it is. So Joyce is in her 80s. She takes 10 copies of my book every time she goes to see Dr. Mithke. I can't cold call this guy. I can't get in to see him. I mean, I could drop by and be annoying, but it's way more effective for Joyce every time she sees him 2 or 3 times a year to just take 10 copies of my book. And he's like, whatever you're doing over there at Miracles, keep doing it, because you're my only patient in their 80s getting better, not worse, right? So that's a great strategy. The other thing I think is just persistency over time pays off. You got to build relationships. You got to figure out what can you do. And this is a mistake we make as fitness professionals. We think, well, if I just show up somewhere, they're going to want to refer me. Why? They're not going to want to refer people to you. You have to solve a problem for them, go with a giving hand, so you have to be a solution provider for them. So if you can help demonstrate that you've been helping their patients, right, then they're more likely to listen. And so we have to be a go-giver. We have to be someone that adds value and provides value, not just someone that shows up looking like we're going to try to suck
And be
from
interested.
them. Like, just send me your patients, just send me your patients. It's like, that's not really how it works. So you need to figure out how you can help their business, help their reputation, help their patients do better. So
And
that's all I've got for
yeah,
today, Andrea. I
I'll
think
just
we got that.
say, Dan, the other thing about spending money on marketing is what is the longevity of whatever it is you're spending marketing money on. A pen is going to run out of ink. A magnet, if it's ugly, I'm not putting it on my refrigerator. A calendar lasts 12 years. Books are forever. And we have that too. We have one on cancer, one on breast cancer, and one on lymphedema that you can do your own publishing. So really think about the money that you're spending on marketing. And when it does come to networking with the medical professionals, also be interested in them. Ask them about their practice because you're interested in referring people. Obviously, I'm not going to ask the oncologist, because I want to refer people. But it could be a massage therapist. It could be a naturopathic doctor. It could be a dentist. There are all types of allied health professionals that you can express interest in learning about them. And at the same time, usually the conversation opens up and you get to talk about you as well. So that's my 2 cents worth. Thank you.
Yeah. Andre, which book was it? Was it the FAS marketing book? Andre's saying he had trouble getting my book and the website didn't work. So just curious, was it this book, Andre, you were trying to get, the FAS marketing book, which I usually have? Yep, I have a copy of that sitting right here. Just want to show you, it's fairly easy. If you want to get this book from us, you go here, you enter your name, your email, and say, yes, I'd like my free book now. You click submit, and then on this you say, no thanks, I don't need this now. I offer a sales training video. You just click no thanks, I don't need this now, and then voila, you get to the thank you for your order page. So it's fairly simple, and then we'll email you the PDF. Now some people I know, they're like, wait a minute, I don't want an ebook, I want the book you're holding, right? Because we like books, right? Some people still do. If that's the case, then you need to go to a different website. So I will put that in the share as well. I'll see if I can pull that.
And it's a
website up
great
real
book.
quick.
You sent me one and I read it. And although I practice a lot of that, it's still always good to, hear it again.
It's a simple, there's nothing overly fancy in it. It's about a 60-page book. Getboomerclients.com, we will ship you a book. It's about $8. So that you do have to pay for. Don't get mad at me. It cost me money to print the book and ship it. So for $8, we'll put it in your hands. That's fairly straightforward. So getboomerclients.com if you want that. So we put in here strategies for how to get to physicians. It's a 63-page book. You can read it on a Saturday afternoon. We tell you how to market your functional aging specialist. And of course, you could use that for any of your fitness credentials, email marketing, Facebook marketing, business to business. It's all in here. So love it. It's totally free as an ebook. fasmarketing.com. You can totally get that. So
Cool. All right. I don't think we have any more questions from anybody. Jan, thank you for the well wishes and happy Halloween to all of you. I think it's going to be
absolutely
too, super spooky.
Have a safe and fun Halloween, everyone.
All right. Well, have a good afternoon, evening, whatever it is. Bye.
All right. We'll see you.